Welcome to Board Game Nation. My name is Gary Blevins. Thank you so much for watching. I recently had the amazing opportunity to talk with legendary game designer Larry Harris. In our conversation, we talked about his 40-year career where he developed more than 200 games for some of the biggest names in the industry. His most famous game? Axis and Allies. Since the original game came out in 1984, it has spawned more than 20 spin-offs and updates, 3 of which were inducted into the Adventure Board Game Hall of Fame in 1996. It was really a thrill to meet him. Now, anyone that's played Axis and Allies has almost certainly come across a house rule or 10. I was curious how Larry felt about the hundreds of house rules that have sprung up around his games. So I asked him about it. Let's see what he had to say. I'm always pleased when I run into people that play Axis and Allies, and they seem to be everywhere, right? So it's just kind of this ubiquitous thing. And I think the reason that that's true, and the reason that the game has sold, millions and millions of copies, is that the basic mechanic is so strong that it allows for an ease of understanding and an ease of play, but allows the layering of the complexity of war to be added on to that base mechanic. That often gives rise to an entire universe of house rules. And I'm curious if you have a favorite set of house rules that have come to you. I'm sure people have sent these to you over the years, and I'm curious if you found one that you liked, or if anything made it into versions of the game that came forward, or what your thoughts are on house rules in general.
I pay attention to house rules. I don't know. I can't quote or call out any particular ones that I've seen over the years. And they themselves, the question themselves, give me an idea of what could be brought to the game, and sometimes they could be the driving force behind actually what is changed. And then now you're going to ask me, so what have you done that stems from house rules? I really don't remember. I couldn't tell you at this point. That's going back a little bit.
One of the more popular house rules that I've seen is the introduction of espionage. Really, espionage was kind of not an element in any of the Axis and Allies games that I can immediately recall. And so that's an area that I see you kind of expanded into a lot from a house rules point of view. I'd be curious if you had any thoughts on it.
Yeah, espionage is a great example of a house rule. It's something that is fun to do, and you want to do it. I can't sell you a product or design a product for you that would include that for whatever reason. Maybe it's not for everybody. Not everybody would be interested in that, or maybe it takes from the main mechanic. The price that I would have to pay for it would not be worth it, and my return on investment would not be worth it. But the idea that you're doing it and incorporating it, and if you asked me, does it fit in, and if I have any suggestions as the creator of the game, I would probably answer that and tell you that, yeah, if you're getting pleasure from it and you're having a good time, you go for that, and it's quite all right. And I don't see you upsetting any balance, or yes, you would upset a balance. I would guide, those are the questions you should be asking yourself when you incorporate your own house rules. Are you upsetting the balance? And if so, are you upsetting it in a bad way or a good way? So
Well. Yeah, I'll say the other way that I found house rules used is to balance between the skill of player, right?
Yes.
So I play hundreds of games of Axis and Allies, and if I try to play against somebody who's new to the game, like I want to have fun, you know what I mean? I don't want them to get run over, and I want them to feel like they had a good time and had a chance to win. So give them an extra bomber in Russia, or give them an extra 30 IPCs at the beginning of the game, or whatever it is that you're gonna. Whatever you're going to do to balance the skill level at the same time. But honestly, you hit on it exactly. Like what I've told people for years is if you want to make a change to a game and you're having fun doing that thing, well go do that thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of it's your experience.
Just know that you can't upset too much of the game, or it'll not be worth your effort.
Right. Yeah. Don't break it.
Don't break it. Don't break it. That sums it up.
Right. Again, a big thank you to Larry Harris for taking the time to sit down and talk with us. If you want to see more from that interview, click here. If you're ready to watch the whole thing, here's your link. And if you want to see everything going on with Board Game Nation, click here to subscribe. Again, my name is Gary Blevins. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.